Hey guys, it's Turk, and I'm doing well, we'll see how long of a post video here on the last chapter of One Piece. I wanted to record this today because I saw a couple things about yesterday's chapter that I had missed. Actually, one was a question. The immediate one, I almost recorded this with the other video, and that was I'm curious how the Marines. So last chapter, I like to do a little flashback, a little setup. In the last chapter, Law and Blackbeard, I almost said Kid. Law and Blackbeard are fighting on this island near Wano that Kid drew when he drew lots with Kid. When Law drew lots with Kid and Luffy, he ended up going to this island, and Blackbeard was waiting in ambush, expecting one of the three to come there. Actually, I wonder what. Yeah. Actually, that's something interesting I just thought. So he must know. Oh, that's something interesting too. Oh wow, I just thought of something else. Blackbeard must know where Egghead Island is. Obviously, he's probably been traversing around the New World area there for quite a while. Also, he was part of Whitebeard's crew, who probably traversed that area quite a bit because Whitebeard had a territory there. So what I just thought actually is, so Blackbeard knew this island must have been like an uninhabited one, no communities of people or other races living there, and he set up a trap there with his main ship to ambush whoever came. So I just thought, so like, if he knows where Egghead Island is, why wouldn't he have any interest in going there to meet Vegapunk? Like, does he even know who Vegapunk is? Does he know, Blackbeard know, like, what Vegapunk does? Like, how much this also is interesting, because Blackbeard has a way of knowing how to absorb or take devil fruits from other people, and then he's given them to his crew members. So most of his main crew member captains, his subordinate to his former original crew members all have fruits. We don't know about Lafitte yet, though, what he may have. So how did we learn that? We know that Vegapunk has been studying devil fruits. Maybe that was only because Caesar talked about it. I bet that's it. So I was just thinking too, Blackbeard could have benefited as well, perhaps from talking to Vegapunk and learning more about the origin of devil fruits. Although something tells me Blackbeard knows a lot more than almost anyone else aside from Vegapunk, because he seems to have some knowledge about this stuff with knowing how to steal fruits. He has this plan. He's had this for a long time to enact this plan and become like the new Zebek. And he's named his ship after that. So he seems to have some knowledge, and maybe somehow it passed down to him from Zebek. I'm suspecting so. And so I was just thinking too, why wouldn't Blackbeard, if Blackbeard knows that island is, who runs that island, why wouldn't he go there maybe to dismantle it, destroy it himself before? Because it's run by someone who's contracting with the government, and that would be in his benefit, Blackbeard's benefit, to destroy it and take down a major leg of the world government's ability to combat people like him. So like he just fought one of those seraphims back at Boa's Island. I keep forgetting the name. Amazon Lily. Like if he had tried and could have successfully dismantled in some way Vegapunk's island back about a year ago, these seraphims may not have been activated in time to give him that kind of trouble at Amazon Lily. And that's very interesting that he's left that island alone. Although that island does seem to have a significant amount of security with Lilith, I doubt that would be enough, because even Stelka, the number one Vegapunk clone, thought that Lilith was in over her head facing off against a Straw Hat crew. Imagine if they faced off against Blackbeard, who's probably, at least at the moment, far more formidable altogether. I think Blackbeard could have significantly harmed Vegapunk's stuff if he'd gone there. So that was interesting that he knew about. He went to this other island that's uninhabited and waited, and there's other islands right there, and he's not bothering with it. He doesn't. I guess he's not afraid of it. We see that Blackbeard is a very overconfident guy. He went up head to head with Magellan and fucked up there, and it seems here that Van Augur was kind of upset about how things were seeming to go against law so far in this last chapter. Actually, there's something there I should make a correction on. I think that I'm wrong on something. I was saying at the end of my video, the post 1063 chapter thing was Blackbeard's fruit awakened, and while I still think it could be my circumstantial evidence, or the thing what made me think of that was that I was wondering why Blackbeard wasn't teleported to this island by Van Augur. He flew over there using Doc Q and his horse, what's his name, Stronger. But Van Augur appears right here in this chapter. It looks like he's ready to teleport Blackbeard away in like a retreat. So maybe he can teleport Blackbeard when he wants. So Blackbeard probably can even if his fruit is activated, maybe he can. Other people can still use the fruit around him. I was thinking maybe he has a self. His awakening. If he's awakened now, that maybe he was creating a shield around himself of sorts, where others got close, their powers would be negated. I guess I'm thinking of this too, kind of like if you guys ever seen the movie X-Men 3, they find a kid in there. There's a kid in there who's a mutant, but it's a mutant who he can negate other people's powers like this when they get too close. So in that one point toward the end, Kitty Pryde is trying to save the kid with Juggernaut hot on her heels, and she can't phase him out of there because he turns her powers off, and so on and so forth. So I was thinking that Blackbeard could be like that, and maybe he still can, but maybe he can just turn it on. So anyways, all this led to what I was trying to start saying in the beginning before I got on this tangent, is I'm wondering how the Marines are aware, what kind of surveillance techniques or abilities are they using to be aware of the activities of major pirates like this. So we see a Kainu getting a report through Denden Mushi here of, do we have it right here? Yeah, who is that guy there? I don't know what that Denden Mushi is representing, that person telling him, but he is getting a message about Law and Blackbeard fighting on. They also tell you the island, Winter Island. I did not see that before. So the name of the island is also known, but also we don't know anything about it other than it just looks like an island. I know it has a lot of rock surfaces there. It just looks like is that snow on it? I'm trying to look at the background now. So they know that combat is happening here on this island, and I was wondering, like, how do they know that this is happening? Are they having Navy ships like tail these guys from afar? I'm sure they got the use of telescopes and some stuff like that, so they probably could do that and stay enough distance where they wouldn't be pelted by cannon fire from someone like Blackbeard. So that also, I was just thinking, like, how did they know? How did it become known easily that Kaido and Big Mom were making their alliance? Because they knew about that right away back in this last arc. Like, so I was like, that was about 100 chapters ago. I think they made that announcement, and then the whole world knew about it. And I kind of was telling it to Fujitora and asking, like, I hope this was a good idea to get rid of the warlords, because now we may be in over our heads with this alliance. So the So the Navy HQ, or Marine HQ, definitely has a way to figure this out, and it's just very interesting to me that they know right away that what's going on with them. I also was just thinking, like, do they have some powerful Marines with good, I'm thinking like observation haki? I still don't quite fully understand the full extent of how that can work. Well, no, that could be a way. There could be a way like that. Viola from Dressrosa has a very good observation hockey that seems to allow her to sense all kinds of the people and life forms all around her on the island. Maybe they have some people like that who work as part of the Navy, and they work on ships that tail the Yonko crews and other prime dangerous crews, and then they can use that to see what's going on here. I bet it's something like that, more likely. So the other thing too I missed, another thing here I missed was I saw Bonney with this lightsaber toy thing. I thought it was not a toy. And she's using it at the end here, and I was thinking, I'm forgetting she's probably really intending to use that to kill Vegapunk. She's really intent now on killing him, it looks like. I think no matter what. Which I'm also thinking, like, you better make sure you get the information you need out of him before you do that. Because if Vegapunk's as good as a scientist as we're led to believe, he probably can help Kuma if there is some process needed to reverse what he did to Kuma, what Vegapunk did to Kuma. So I hope she's cautious about using that weapon before it's but it looks like someone else is there. Definitely, I mean, not someone, it looks like Stalka's definitely there, so we'll see. We'll have to see if whether or not they can combat what's her name before Bonney, before she uses her age fruit on them to try and kill Vegapunk. Actually, that'd be interesting. I wonder if Vegapunk, knowing Vegapunk, he probably would already have a way to counter something like her powers. I wonder if he's in a special area where he can, like, maybe he could have created stuff similar to Sea Prism Stone where he could protect himself from her abilities or any other abilities such as laws as well. That would be interesting to see if he has that. I don't think it's going to go as well as Bonney thinks it will in this combat. She's like jumping into here, going against the greatest scientist alive in this world, and I'm sure you'd have contingencies against a devil fruit user, given he's also studying this for many years now. And also, I was just thinking about this. I bet there's going to be a moment here in the next chapter or two when the Straw Hats, because I have a feeling the Straw Hats will be there with Vegapunk when Bonney arrives, and Bonney will probably end up using her age powers and making all the Straw Hats, the other ones, age differently. And I could just imagine now Nami and Sanji especially being aged older, and they're freaking out about it. Nami, because she's happy, she's, I don't know how to say it. She's probably one of those people who will hate getting old. Like that character Blanche from Golden Girls, who's always lying about her age and pretending she's like in her 40s when she's obviously like something like 10 years older. And I could see Nami freaking out like that, and Sanji freaking out because she's been turned that way, because he's very smitten with her for some reason. And what was another thing? Yes, the special race thing. Someone else I saw something in the comments, I think it was from one of Joy Boy's videos, that made me think of something interesting, that they're speculating. I think the speculation was that maybe Kuma and Blackbeard are from the same race or something of that to that effect, or at least that's what I gained off that. That maybe Blackbeard isn't a normal human being race. He looks like a human being, like in every way, but unlike the Lunarians, like King, he doesn't have different colored hair or skin color. Or he doesn't produce flames, but maybe that is what makes, because I talked about in the last video too about Marco conjecturing something, knowing something to Blackbeard's body being different, and how he's now able to hold more than one devil fruit. So I think the comment pointed out like maybe there's more people like that, or used to be like Blackbeard, that can handle more devil fruits than other people can. And maybe something like Kuma's along the lines of special race also. And that actually brought up something interesting to me too. I'm thinking about Blackbeard in context as similar to that villain from the last arc. the one that Kaido installed as Shogun. I'm thinking that Blackbeard might have a chip on his shoulder. Maybe he's frustrated. Maybe part of this stuff with his like, and he seems like he's an orphan. Maybe. All right, let me follow up that guy's name for Orochi. Yes. So Orochi was persecuted by the Kozukis, his family, because one of his family members tried to assassinate. Was it Odin's grandfather, like Momonosuke's great grandfather? Somebody there almost got assassinated, and the Orochi was his clan was persecuted, and he somehow got into the good graces of them. Maybe he probably hid his name, and he avoided obviously being killed, but he had a great hatred for obvious reasons against the Kozukis for doing this to him and his family, and he ended up with Kaido's help being installed as shogun, and he was subjugating the country and slowly rotting it out. He was basically doing similar to like I'm using more movie references today. He reminds me like kind of what Bane was doing to Gotham in The Dark Knight Rises. So I'm thinking about if there's a possibility that Blackbeard is a last of a race, special race, maybe much like King in this case too. He is one that's been eradicated in some way or another by the world government or some other party that would have a beef with them. And that is part of his incentive, his initiative to destroy the world, to take over the world. He's pissed off, much like Orochi was, but each time he's going to take it out on the whole world rather than a single nation. And he knows he has the means to do it because of how special he could be differently. There's much like, almost like how Kaido thought he was, too, and Kaido was pretty damn impressive. Is impressive. Yeah, there we go. So Blackbeard and Kaido both wanted to cause a war to destroy the world. Well, I think Kaido wanted to destroy the world, just cause chaos. I think Blackbeard wants to really subjugate it to himself. A little bit like Orochi in this case, but I don't know if he wants to destroy it the way Orochi wanted to. I think he wants to control it. So I could just see these similarities again where, that Blackbeard may be like Kaido and like he knows he's special, or Kaido thought he was special. I don't think Kaido knew much about his origin. That's something interesting too. We don't know enough about what made Kaido so special either. Let's set that aside a second. So Blackbeard may know he is special in some way, and he knows he has the means because he may have information passed down to him by Zebek to destroy the world, and that's why he's doing this way, because he may have been persecuted or be the last of some race, like King, like Orochi, the last one who's got this chip on his shoulder and wants to take out the world government and install himself as the ruler. Kind of like now I'm going to use a historical reference. This feels like him and Zebek tried to do, or like an Alexander the Great, who took over the Persian Empire and installed himself and his generals, and that they were going to rule over it. The Macedonians ruling over rather than Persians over the other groups of people in the Middle East and Greece that they conquered. I think Blackbeard wants to take out the world government's top people. It'll be very interesting to see if he knows anything about Im-sama or not. Maybe he only thinks the Gorosei are there. Although if any of this I'm thinking is true, he probably knows about Im-sama and is making a plan to defeat him too. And so he's got that chip on his shoulder. He's got this. So he's got the initiative. He's got the wherewithal, the know-how, and he's gaining he's doing what Zebek did before him, and garnering a great crew to help bolster his manpower to do it. And I think in that case, he's doing something much better than Zebek. He can probably succeed where Zebek failed, because Zebek used probably some means like the Davy back fight in order to make Whitebeard and Big Mom and Wang Ji and Kaido and everyone. Well, Kaido might have joined more. I think Kaido would have joined more willingly at his age. He may have had conscripted essentially the other members to be part of his crew, and they hated each other. You can just imagine, especially like Big Mom and Kaido, not Kaido, well, Big Mom hating Whitebeard, Whitebeard hating her because they were like a totally different, well, not totally different, but they just wouldn't get along because their morals and their goals are all very different, but they got forced together to be under the control of Zebek through a combination of something. Maybe I'm thinking his Conqueror's Haki could be exceptional, that he could somehow, it reminds me kind of anime reference now, how Aizen controlled his Arrancar, that like you had not Jim Zhao, was it Jim Zhao? What's his name? The Jaguar guy. He wants to do whatever he wants, and Aizen has to keep him under his control, and he could with his impressive spiritual pressure. I'm speculating here that Zebek may have some aspect like that, when he was just so goddamn powerful, the others wouldn't be able to stand up to him. And so it also makes me interesting. How would Roger and Garp find a way to break that? I'm thinking, like I said before, they finally found a way to negate something he was doing, or convince the other pirates on his crew to work with them. I think there was more than just the two of them taking out Zebek, unless Garp and Roger had some hidden ace up their sleeve. The ace, that's his sword, and his son. That could make it easier to fight Zebek. But anyways, yeah, Blackbeard here is definitely doing something better, and where his crew are not conscripted into joining him, they want to be with his crew. The same way, actually, that Kaido did too. Kaido had people that wanted to be part of his crew, King and Queen and Jack, and they want to see him succeed, where Zebek was full of people that did not want any part of this, it seems. And so, special race, where was I going to go with that next? So Blackbeard's got this way of doing this now, and he's gonna... Crap, what was I going to say next about? Oh, Kaido. We don't know much about Kaido. Kaido looks like he came from Kaido has a clear clues that something unique is about him. And it'll be great if he comes back somehow, or something else is related to him. Well, he's got his daughter too. He must have told her something. What's her name? They must have something with because they got these long horns coming out of their head that just shows as shows he's not really a human being purely. He looks like a half being like that. Kind of reminds me of Inuyasha, having the ears and a different hair color in his thing, because he was a half demon. And what's his daughter's name now? Hold on, Google again, because I can't think of her name. Kaido's daughter. Devil fruit. We know it's devil fruit. Yamato, yeah. So Yamato and him are both clearly look different than humans. And I'm wondering if Yamato could know, because she might join up with the Straw Hats at some point. We were hoping for her to join up sooner. I'm wondering if she knows something about what they are. And so we're just getting this new, it looks like we're getting this new cluster of races, not cluster, that we've never heard of before, because we've got tons of them here. We got the mermen, and the other merfolk, the fishmen, the... oh God, there's so many, I can't think of them all. The giants, what Oars was. So we still don't know if Kaido's like was related to that. Maybe he somehow is. Maybe that's a long line of them, which would be freaky to figure out how that creation happened. So yeah, we don't know anything about Kaido too. I mean, he clearly looked like he was a special race, and we saw from a very young age he was able to. He was very strong and seemed nearly invincible. And it's surprising how they captured him. Actually, no, it's not. What am I saying? They probably got him drunk off his ass or something like that. Well, he was a kid, so yeah. I don't know. Maybe he was such a bad kid he did drink though. But somehow they would have sedated him, I guess you could say, and captured him and gave him to the world government or the Navy to so they could gain access to being part of the Reverie in the future. Which makes me wonder if they ever did join Reverie. That's something too. When we saw the Reverie thing, was Kaido's ruler or a successor there at that island? There at Marizua, I wonder, that would have been there because they gave up Kaido. Because I mean, the Navy successfully got him. It wasn't. They're the ones that failed to keep him constrained properly, and he escaped later on. But knowing the world government, they probably wouldn't allow it anymore. Maybe they wanted them to give a tribute later on. Either way, and they couldn't keep up with that. So back to special races. I was thinking about this too with Big Mom. Could Big Mom too be something unique? Like her and Kaido obviously don't have, as far as we know, something like Blackbeard where they can hold two fruits in their body, but she too at a young age was nigh invincible, and she took out a giant or killed a giant in her youth, and she goes on these odd rampages, and she's you can't stop her until you give her what she wants, her food in this case, to be satiated, and so there's no way to stop her. Like, what kind of being is that? Like, we got amazing, powerful humans in this story, like Whitebeard or Mihawk and Zoro now and stuff, but they weren't that impressive when they were young, as far as we know. They had to grow into it more. But as far as we can tell, people like Kaido and Big Mom, maybe Blackbeard as well, they start off. Blackbeard could have been hiding it for all we know, because he did this for a long time. I'm assuming he did hide something, some skill set or not thing he has. They're like this from a youth. Kaido and Big Mom especially are just impossibly strong, exude great hockey right away, and can't be stopped by almost anyone unless they have someone else has a specific hockey powers or something to go up against them. It's like, what are these races that Oda's hiding from us? Also, we still never saw what those other things were. Speaking of other races that showed up before Thriller Bark, didn't we? That was in that sea there. Oda really is looking like he's holding back some unique little races out there that he's going to slowly show us later. I bet some of these could have to do too, because we're going to probably go to Elbath soon. Elbath is a land of giants, and it looks like it's being based on Scandinavian mythology. Maybe there'll be some information there, especially I'm thinking with Kaido or Oars. Big Mom was there too, so we may get. We'll almost certainly get something there, I'm sure. But because what I'm trying to get at is that Scandinavian mythology has different races like dark elves and ice giants and whatnot. Maybe we'll find out some other races, groups of things that Oda hasn't shown us through that arc. That the Albathians will be having a conflict there. That maybe the Straw Hats or somebody else will be having to aid them and we'll meet other things, and that will give us some lore to someone like the Oars or what Kaido could be, and we might learn more about Big Mom because she lived there for a while. That would be probably very helpful lore there, as far as like this arc. We're gonna get lore hopefully on Devil Fruit, and this hopefully Elbath I think could be the arc that can help us learn more about what other kind of races are out there and what impact like the Oars race have on human history, the history of the One Piece world. And that's something else too. What if we can find out more about these? How is there a relationship with that and those walls in Wano that are holding Wano, that protecting Wano from intrusion or invasions? Maybe the Oars races had a way of being part of that, or some other race like that. We don't know. Like there's a races that could have like psychic powers, like they could just levitate those walls and put stuff up like that in order to in order to create that wall that was there to protect Wano and maybe protect Pluton from being taken by the world government or other nefarious parties. So I'm hoping there's like some connection there that we can find out. This came right off. So yeah, this special race stuff really adds some more questions, I think, to what's happening, what we don't know about with people like Blackbeard, Kaido, and Big Mom. And I asked the question too: how much does the world government even know about these races? Could the world government not know much about these races themselves outside of like Lunarians? We know something about Lunarians, but we don't know much because King is the only one we know present who has that knowledge on it. The world government though must have some knowledge on them because they are the ones that took them out. Apparently, how was they like eradicated? The world government eradicated that race, with the exception of maybe King and maybe some others. If Vegapunk has any, and I think he does. How much would the world government know about these other kind of races like Blackbeard or Big Mom or especially Blackbeard or Kaido, or if any? They must know some stuff about the Giants too. The Giants are there as a race that's not part of the world government, and I have a feeling they have some special protection of sorts that's keeping the world government from contacting them, much like Wano is protected by a giant wall. I'm thinking with Elbaf, there could be some more mystical aspect of this. Maybe they have sorcery of some. Maybe there's something too. I wonder if there's any actual sorcery in here, similar to Raizu's ninjutsu, and maybe the Elbathians are the ones that can use that, and that keeps their land protected from the world government having access to them to try to coerce them into being part of the world government's subjugation. That would be interesting to find out. And so yeah, how much would they know about these races? I have a feeling there could be some things out there even they don't know. There's just so many mysteries here. It really feels like here Oda's going for an X-Files like element of atmosphere. Sorry, it's shaved earlier, I'm itchy. Atmosphere where there's like these things in the deep dark forests and seas and mountains of the world that no one knows about, and Oda's like really likes that. Oda does seem to also like take a lot of Western pop culture and insert it into here. So I could see him using the X-Files as some kind of inspiration. Actually, it just made me think: what if he could introduce? I would love it if he introduced characters that were like Mulder and Scully. Like they created a special task force that investigates these kind of things, similar to Aegis Zero, but they don't have any assassination skills. They simply investigate these unique races like the Giants and how they could get infiltrate that island, and these other creatures like Oars. They might have a way of like they are given leeway to travel the world and do what they please, more or less, as long as they bring back information to help the world government learn about races they haven't been able to subjugate yet. And that's something else too. Why hasn't is there another sign? Is one of the did I already say something like that? I probably did in that chapter when I was talking about the Vegapunk's other clones. Maybe one of them tries to investigate that kind of stuff, because we got like the futuristic area. We got ones that probably study weapons and make things like the Seraphim. So maybe a race, I bet I said this already, that would study the unique races like King, or somebody was, because they had King, duh. Somebody would be trying to study these unique races, but I'm wondering if they have like a task force, a Mulder and Scully, who have run an X-Files division and go out in the world to look for those other races and how that can benefit the world government, essentially. Oh shit, what was I just thinking too with that? Oh crap, lost my train of thought. There was one other thing with that. Shit. So I was saying the Mulder and Scully, the studying of the powers, sorcery, crap. Yeah, we still don't know where Luffy is, obviously. Oh yeah, the Three-Eyed Tribe too. We don't know anything about them. Pudding's tribe. We only know if she has a father. How did I forget about that too? She has a tribe. She's from a group of people that we know very little about, but somehow Big Mom does. And we don't know if there's a nation that's like, are they hidden in the deep dark areas of the world also? Also, we got the Skypeans, obviously. How did I forget that in this conversation? The Skypeans are way up in the sky, and it seems, oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. It seems that the Three-Eyed Tribe, we stick to the Three-Eyed Tribe. We don't know anything else about the Three-Eyed Tribe other than Big Mom had a relationship with one in order to produce her pudding, and then have pudding as her trump card when she could. Wigwam wanted to get the other road poneglyphs, and so then there's also the Skypeans that no one seems to know about, and it's very hard to get up there. There's supposed to be some other mountain pass. What was the other thing? There was another way to get up there other than what the Straw Hats did. Maybe with Vegapunk's help, I know other people already talked about this, I recall that now. They'll probably be seeking a way to go to Skypea soon and incorporate them into the world government. And the last thing, so Pudding, we don't know anything about what Pudding's tribe is. I'm surprised that, I wouldn't actually be surprised if they were wiped out too, much like O'Hara, because I would assume the world government would have figured out at some point that these type of people, like Pudding, these people have this ability which could help others go to the One Piece, which the government probably wants to destroy desperately. That's interesting too, like how long they've known about that. So they may want to destroy races like Pudding's, or like what they did to Kings, because they're also a danger to the world government's control of the world. Look how the fishmen aren't considered as much of a threat, but they're not treated well by the world government. And only now, I don't know how recently they've been going to Reverie, but King Shirahoshi's dad goes there, so that's a good sign. But how much would they eradicate these other races? How quickly would they want to do that? Basically, I'm getting at to keep their power structure as it is. They must have destroyed some of these other races like that, I bet. I wouldn't be surprised if Oars. I wouldn't be surprised if Oars' race was also defeated by, like, if the admirals were sent there, or I guess Zero agents, to kill races like Oars, because they're so. Look how much damage Oars the Junior, the third, did at Whitebeard's behest, to save Ace. And there is that. Imagine if an army of them came too. Like Big Mom wanted to get the Eldath on her side so she can have an army of giants. An army of Oars would be even worse. They're like 3 times bigger. So I could just see the world government eradicating these other unique races. Wow, that's a good narrative. I bet that's what Oda's going for. If you looked into our history, how humans have treated one another poorly, and they want to remove threats to the surrounding areas, I can see Oda going for a narrative here of correlation where the humans, basically, you could say here perhaps, or maybe this is all because of Im-sama, which I wanted to get to in a sec. They're trying to eradicate other unique races that seem weird, and I'm trying to think of some words where people just won't look at them and treat them as equals. But this goes beyond that too, and I still think there's a similarity there. But the world government wants to get rid of all these weird races so they can never form a coalition to take out the world government. Oh man, yeah. So now the other thing I was gonna say is what I have a feeling too that Im-sama, ironically, may be of some unique race. We may be a special user of something. Did I say that when I was talking about the Conqueror's Hockey, or maybe Tekking was saying something in another video. I get some of this stuff blurred up. Where Im-sama may be I think Tekking had something about him. Maybe Im-sama had a special Conqueror's Hockey or something like that. And I was saying that with Zebek a moment ago. Maybe that's why Zebek was not a normal human being either. Maybe Im-sama likewise, and I did say these two could be related. I think they might have. Im-sama, ironically, may be a unique race, a single last one perhaps, and that's what makes that's why he's keeping himself so secret. That's why he wants, that would be interesting then if this is true, what is his goal in controlling the world like this? I bet we'll find something out like that he has a unique reason for doing this other than like not it's different than like Orochi and Blackbeard and Kaido, like I was talking about, like they not Kaido. Well, Kaido thinks he was destined for greatness. I'm thinking Insama has something similar to Kaido, you could say, but different. What he wants, he enjoys his power, obviously, but and he has a different reason for controlling the world like this. And what I was just thinking too is the irony is if he is a different race and he's controlling humans and he's eradicating other races, he's really showing some kind of, bigotry or something against others just so he can have all this power. So he wants to eradicate. Actually, I was like, right too. Oda, I was saying Oda's doing a, the discrimination and stuff against other races. It reminds me a lot of how wizards treat other races in Harry Potter. I think Oda's going for a similar narrative where in Harry Potter it's like the goblins and the giants and the house elves, and here it's like the fishmen, maybe the three-eyed tribe, we don't know, and the Lunarians certainly. Definitely an interesting narrative similarity there, and I like how Oda's doing this to really, so I'm really suspecting some of these other people, individuals we met are like King, because King is the well-known one, were probably, could be the last of their kind because of the world government's attempt to subjugate, remove any threats to their existence. Wow, that came. So I wonder if Blackbeard, then Blackbeard, I was saying something about the Willa D in the other video, was that yesterday or the one I did before, that the Blackbeard and the Willa, the clan of D may have created the Devil Fruit as a way to fight the world government, and Im-sama couldn't fight them with maybe Im-sama now had turned to science using Vegapunk as his help him fight Devil Fruit users, and now that the clan of D might have lost control of the Devil Fruits, and now they're dispersed among other pirates and the Marines and anyone else who can get them. But now I just was thinking, what if Blackbeard is some special race and he knows more about Devil Fruits than anyone else, and he came from a race that knew about them? Maybe that race had a hand in how Devil Fruits were made. Maybe there's some information passed down there that he's from a special race. Maybe this is separate than Zebek after all. Maybe Zebek was separate than Im-sama, unless Im-sama was part of. There's so many little theories we can make on this, isn't there? But let's stick to Blackbeard. Maybe Blackbeard, and he comes from a race that had a hand in making the Devil Fruits, or did make the Devil Fruits, and that's why he knows so much about how to use them. Not how to use them. Maybe that's why he likes using them. He understands the downfalls of them, but he knows that will help him. He's not a science guy, obviously. He's not a Vegapunk. He's obviously not a smart guy in the same way Vegapunk is. He's very brash and bold, too bold for his own good sometimes. But he has 2 Devil Fruit powers, and for all we know, he could have another or 2. We don't know anything yet. So I'm just thinking maybe that's why he wants to have the Devil Fruit powers, because he can understand them better than anyone else alive. And that's interesting too. Then the Devil Fruits are the enemy of the sea, and fruits are grown by trees. What if they? I'm just thinking like an earth-water kind of dynamic going on there. I wonder if there's something there. Anyways, that's all I can think of right now. Also, we still don't know anything about Bonnie's fruit and whether it has an area. Let's see. Pudding gets rescued. I'm hoping Pudding gets rescued in the next arc. And oh, that's something too. Law here brings up about the Devil Fruits, and I was just talking about that. Law says they're called Devil Fruits for a reason. That's a weird way to put it, because they're Devil Fruits. What would that mean? They should be calling something else, because devil, I'm looking at, I don't know, we call it, not semantics. What if the devil fruits have something to do with, well, Kit doesn't kind of look like a devil a little bit. I'm just wondering if devil fruits would have something to do more with a race, like, I was thinking Blackbeard's, but let's go off on a separate thing. What if there's another race that were considered devils that created them, and they're the devil fruits, not because they see, this is the sea is the enemy of them, the devil fruit users. So there's something there. Does the sea, is that implying that the sea is a separate entity? Like Shirahoshi can control, she has the power of Poseidon in here, which means she can control the sea kings, but devil fruits also are an enemy of the sea, so that's something there, I think, with that. The sea, I wonder if the sea is a separate entity. Also, I'm surprised, there was something else that's the other thing I was almost forgetting. With this race talk, going back quickly to this, I'm surprised, and I was talking about the world government trying to eradicate other races that they see as a danger. I'm surprised that Im-sama hasn't seen fit to try, especially with these potent admirals at his disposal, seen fit to try and have sea kings destroyed by them. Aokichi could go freeze them all up, and then you can have like Kizaru just zap, 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 put them out of their misery, I would think. Because they could certainly, with Shirahoshi being around, that's a question too then. Do they know Shirahoshi's power is there? I would think Im-sama would. Why wouldn't they just destroy that threat to their existence? Because I really think that's my kitty. The Sea Kings, I was speculating before, I really feel like the Sea Kings could be utilized by someone like Shirahoshi if she had the ambition, you could say, or the anger of like Blackbeard. She could use that power to destroy the world government. She could be a force to be reckoned with in her own right because of that. That she could be on par with Black. She could have that, if she had that anger, she could destroy him, I think. But now that makes me think maybe Im-sama knows about that and he wants to utilize that to his advantage someday. Maybe he wants to wait. He looks like someone who could be waiting, kind of like how Nuraku, and the Inuyasha reference again, is always waiting to take advantage of something to help him in that show, in that manga. Maybe, what's his name? Im-sama wants to utilize all these ancient weapons to subjugate the world. Like he's got Uranus. I said that right? Because I called that Ouroboros in another video. Uranus, it may have Uranus now. Maybe he can get Shirahoshi. Can that power, did I talk about that? Well, I wonder if someone could steal her power from her. It's probably not the same as a devil fruit power, though. So I don't think Blackbeard could steal that. I think I did talk about that. I'm going to leave that aside. Maybe they want to utilize Shirahoshi somehow to have the Sea Kings on their side, because that would be a great power to have as well, because it's considered an ancient weapon to defeat to subjugate the world. That also reminds me again that Caribou is going to tell someone about Pluton being in Wano, and we still have no idea if that refers to like Blackbeard, or maybe he's an inside man or something with I was thinking with Im-sama somehow. So I'm thinking there, that Im-sama maybe would want to have all three ancient weapons at his disposal to do whatever. It feels like he has a goal in mind. That's something too. One Piece. We have three ancient weapons. Ooh. I was just thinking for a second, what if the One Piece, other than whatever Roger left there, what if One Piece there isn't that just knowledge? Because I think that's what Rayleigh talked about. What if there actually is a fourth ancient weapon out there, and it's the One Piece, and it's like the most powerful ancient weapon? It can like control reality or some weird shit like that. That would be OP power, the most OP, obviously. What if that's why they need to find the one? Maybe Im wants to find the One Piece, or Blackbeard knows about that because it's a more powerful weapon than anything else. I mean, how would it be more powerful than, I don't know. I'm going off on a weird tangent now. I was just thinking about what if the One Piece was something really special like that, where it's the most powerful weapon, or maybe it's like a thing to counter the other ancient weapons actually. What if it's that too? It's the fourth weapon, the one that counters the other three. There's another movie reference. there's a movie called The Phantom, and I know it's made in the mid '90s, and it's based off an old comic strip or book from the '30s or '40s. And in there, spoilers if you haven't seen this movie, I don't know how you just. There are these three skulls in there, these objects. They look like human skulls, but they're special objects that look like, one looks like it's made like, I don't know, was it like silver or ivory or weird materials. Not really ivory probably, but. And they are weapons that can fire lasers or something like that. When they were all together, they're like the three of them are like formed together at the end. Let's look it up. I don't know if I can find the images. The Phantom, the hero, realizes at the end that he has the fourth skull, and it's just a ring on his hand, and it's like a mirror shield, like from Zelda. All these references. It's like the mirror shield in Zelda, a shield, and it can deflect the other ones or fight back against the other skull's power. Even though the three of them combined against one, it's greater than them, and it can stop them. I'm thinking now the One Piece would be like that, where there's a thing there that can be a counter to other weapons. Maybe not directly to the ancient weapons, because maybe to Uranus somehow. Poseidon is just an innate ability that's passed down in the royal family that Shirahoshi has, and Pluton might be an actual ship, but maybe the One Piece is something to that effect. Maybe a counter to Im-sama, something that is necessary for our heroes to have. And maybe that's why Shanks wants to go get it, so that they can say that it was left there by someone in order to end this war. Maybe it was left by the clan of D to end the war against the Tenryubito, the Celestial Dragons. Whew! I'm nearly talked out here. So there's I was just thinking about what if Pudding can use the One Piece, or someone else could. I wonder if the One Piece only could be used by someone special, if it was like a special weapon, an anti-weapon. Also, that's one other thing. If she says, that's one other little quick thing. If Kuma is part of a special race, that means Bonney too may have some special qualities she herself does not know about. Like, so what if her Kuma, she doesn't seem like she's very physically powerful, though. She was captured by Blackbeard, and she has an impressive devil fruit, though. But there might be something there. I wonder if she doesn't know about that would make her capable of doing something later that we won't know about. And actually, I got another thing I just thought of. What if the revolutionaries, they want to say Dragon wants to take over stop the world government. I wonder if he has any not aspirations, if part of his plan may have to do with gaining the One Piece also, because he understands what he is doing alone may not be enough to stop Im-sama. If he knows about Im-sama, what would he be? Could he gain help? Would he want to gain maybe on the ancient weapons? Maybe Kiru wants to tell them and gain some cred with the revolutionaries, give them Pluton, or if not that, maybe Dragon just wants to. Can Dragon just expect with his lineup of impressive followers defeat Im-sama in the Marines? He seems to have maybe he's got some other plan we don't know about, obviously, but I'm wondering if that could incorporate. He could be trying to think of a way to incorporate the One Piece, or we don't know anything about whether he has a devil fruit. Though the only speculation we had was, or evidence was that he looked like he had a weather fruit, perhaps because he blew Luffy away, and a big storm came in at Logtown. I'm wondering if Dragon himself could be someone special. This special race thing is what I keep going back to here. Himself, and he knows how to. And that's his trump card he's hoping to use to defeat Im-sama and the others and take out the world government. So it makes me wonder why he's waiting so long to do this. It doesn't look like some of this doesn't fit, I would say, because he's just trying to help other islands defeat the Marines and take out overthrow the shackles. But that doesn't seem like that's going to work too well, given that the Uranus is in possession by Eamstalma supposedly, and he can just destroy any of these islands he wants to start. Lelucia is one here that we just saw captured their king and his daughter, and now they've got wiped off the map. So I'm hoping Dragon there, if that is Dragon's plan, it's not looking too well, because he's just going to cause more cause more harm to other civilians he's trying to save, because they can just get wiped off as Eam pleases, it looks like. But anyways, maybe the Dragon will have a better plan than that. Maybe he's just waiting for the right timing, and he's just doing the best he can, and he needs something else to help give him the advantage against the world government. Also, it was funny last thing they were saying, I said Luffy age 70, a glimpse at a possible future. That's a funny way he looks strong. Cause they drew Luffy, yeah, Oda drew Luffy in age before, but he looked more like rugged and he just grizzled and stuff in that other artwork. But now he just looks like really like a regular old man look. Just his skin sagging, a lot of wrinkles, not much hair, like a tuft of hair. No, he's got long hair in the back, doesn't he? And then Chop and Jinbei, I didn't even almost recognize Jinbei. He looks kind of like a little ogre thing. Like he's got the big fangs. He's got just this ruffled up hair now, and it's all gray. And he's just kind of shorter, I think. He's almost like Luffy looks like he's taller than him now, but he's sitting down. Luffy's sitting down, so it's hard to tell. And Chopper just looks like an old. He also looks more like a dog there. If it wasn't for his antlers, he's in 4 legs here. If it wasn't for his antlers, I would think that's a dog. Anyways, I think that's it for today. I went almost an hour. I didn't think I'd have this much content to think about, but once I start talking,